Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's your boy Legend, and I am back with another video. You already know what this is just by looking at the thumbnail. What if Naruto was the strongest Hashira part 2? Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe while you're at it. We going for 5 likes on this video. I haven't been posting like that, so my algorithm is not where it should be. But like I said, we still getting into this. But without further ado, let's start this intro so we can get into this what if.
The Tale of Naruto Uzumaki. Yes, that has a nice ring to it.
Naruto woke up in the abandoned shack as the sunlight peeked through the cracks in the ceiling. Said blonde sat up and rolled his neck and loosened up his joints before standing. This cell is so damn uncomfortable. Naruto started to walk towards the only exit when he noticed the demon he killed the night before. Weren't they supposed to disintegrate when they died? Naruto looked at the corpse that was having trouble disintegrating. If he had to guess, it was because of the nature chakra that he had used, which was preventing the body from disappearing. Naruto made his way past the corpse. He had things to do, so he could start his new life in this part of the world. Walking past the small town he arrived in, Naruto made his long way to an even bigger city that was a tad bit more stable, but still lived in fear of the demons. Naruto walked through said town, passing through the red light district and into the middle class district. Like yesterday, he looked like an eyesore. He was the odd one out due to his clothing. He walked up and down the roads, passing food bars and clubs, looking for a proper home. He turned a corner to see a man pass a businesswoman some type of currency before he saw her hand him a set of keys. Naruto raised an eyebrow and looked around. There wasn't any houses in this area, so what were the keys for? And was this woman some kind of real estate agent? Naruto decided to follow her like a stalker. He shadowed her every move from a distance as he followed her to what he presumed to be her home. It was actually really nice. It was one of the more wealthy looking homes on the wealthier side of town, and it looked as though it could hold up to 5 people, each with their own rooms. How much must she make to afford a house like this at this caliber? A few minutes later, Naruto saw the woman leave the house in a much more revealing outfit that showed off her curves. It was a short kimono top that barely came down to her upper thigh. It was pink with a black dragon design on it. She had on basic sandals. Naruto found himself wondering if she had on any panties before he shook his head, getting the thoughts out of his head. Naruto watched her for a moment longer, observing how her long brown ponytail swayed behind her lower back as she walked, her caramel colored eyes lightly observing her surroundings. Her hips sway with each step and her ass bouncing slightly with each step as well. Her long cream colored legs looked smooth, as if she shaved every other day. Naruto started to move, keeping his distance. He followed the girl all the way to a club. Naruto sighed. He was really going to have to approach her in here and possibly come off as some kind of stalker without knowing if she would be with any friends or any potential man that she would obviously have fawning over her. Naruto entered the club a few minutes after she did. The place was dark with a lot of black lights, with the occasional red and blue light. The music that played was foreign to Naruto, but he didn't let that get to him. He wasn't here for a good time. He was here for the woman. He looked around for her, but he couldn't find her. There were too many women here that looked similar to her, and all the flickering lights and people mingling with each other made it that much harder to pinpoint her. Naruto noticed a few females walking past him, eyeing him up as if he were a piece of meat. He was really starting to feel uncomfortable and out of place. Naruto walked deeper into the club, making his way past all of the men and women dancing with each other and grinding against each other. He was making his way towards the second level of the club so he could look down at all the people at the booth and on the dance floor to try and find the woman he was looking for. Naruto made it upstairs and leaned against the railings to look down at all the people. After scanning the lower floor from above for over 15 minutes, Naruto finally found who he was looking for. She sat at a booth with a drink in her hand, a few other girls beside her. They must have been her friends, judging by the laughs and smiles on their faces. Naruto just wanted to go and approach her right now as he was, but he stopped. He wasn't dumb. He knew that women were shallow. The proof was in his old teammate Sakura. He looked down at his clothes. He couldn't approach them with the way he was dressed. Naruto looked around and found a guy around the same size as he was, with a black Yuri and black pants. Naruto followed the man into the bathroom and knocked him out and took his clothes. Naruto exited the bathroom and finally went to approach the girl. He saw some middle-aged man trying to talk to her, and he didn't really care. He wanted to get his stuff done as soon as possible. "Excuse me, sir." Naruto stepped forward and pushed the man aside, immediately catching the attention of all the girls at the table. The man glared at Naruto for stealing the spotlight from him. He was trying to get himself some action, and this guy just blocked him like a bitch. Naruto smirked at the woman as he pulled out his wallet and took out some of the cash as he made a show of sifting through all of the cash in his hand. "I was coming over here so I could buy you all a drink, but going off of the looks, you all seem to be good on that aspect." Naruto then turned his gaze directly to the woman that he was looking for. "But I'm not one to let an action go to waste. So would you like to dance, miss?" Said woman blushed and became flustered. "It's Yuri, and yes, I wouldn't mind dancing with you. Would it be alright if I got your name?" Naruto smiled as he pocketed the cash and extended his hand. "Naruto Namikaze. I'm new here." Yuri grabbed Naruto's hand, and the two made their way to the dance floor. Upon reaching the dance floor, Yuri guided Naruto's hands to her hips, and she pressed her body against his with a smirk, causing Naruto to raise an eyebrow. "You like what you see, Namikaze-san?" Yuri asked her question in a sultry tone of voice. Naruto, not wanting to play into her hand, gave a casual answer. You can say that. I find you pleasant to look at, but your looks aren't why I approached you." Yuri raised an eyebrow as she turned and pressed her ass against his crotch as she began to grind against him, whilst wrapping her arms around his neck. "Is that so? Well, is it possible you approached me to try your luck at getting laid?" Naruto moved his right arm and brushed a small wad of cash against her lips. "You're a businesswoman, correct? Or more specific, you sell properties, no?" Yuri turned around and looked at Naruto in the eyes. "How did you..." Naruto put a finger to her lips. "All I want is a house. Like I said, I'm new here. I can't stay at an inn forever. Do this, and this cash is yours. And believe me, I'm sure it's more than what the house costs." Yuri grabbed the money and counted it the foreign currency. Her eyes widened when she realized that His currency was a lot more than her own currency. She grabbed Naruto by the hand and began to pull him out of the club. "Follow me. I only have one small home on the wealthy side of town, so I hope it fits your standards." Naruto followed her, and he said nothing as the both of them made their way towards the property. When they exited the club, Naruto predicted that it would be around 5 p.m. based on the position of the sun, so they had about an hour before the sun started to set. Naruto continued to follow Yuri in silence, not really knowing what to say, and now that they were on business terms. Finally, the two of them arrived at a nice sized home, big enough to hold 2 people. Naruto just looked at the exterior before Yuri walked up and slid the sliding door open and motioned for him to enter the house. Naruto followed her inside as she led him around the semi-furnished house. It was semi-furnished to Naruto because it didn't have some of the stuff he was used to back in the elemental nations. For example, a couch and actual locking doors instead of sliding ones. That didn't bother Naruto at all though. Either way, he was going to buy this house. Naruto entered Sage mode as he stood still for a few seconds and made 3 clones that already had the knowledge of what to do and left. Yuri herself was baffled and taken aback at the display. She just saw someone make copies of himself. If she were a lesser person, she'd think he was a demon. Naruto pulled out some cash and placed it in her hands. "Thanks for all the help. It means a lot." Yuri nodded. "I don't have the paperwork right now, but I can go and get it. It's at my place, just a bit away from here. It's not that far." Yuri opened the door of the house and saw the sun was setting. She immediately got second thoughts on going outside. She didn't want to risk being a victim of some demon. Naruto saw Yuri in her frozen state and walked up to her. Are you alright?" Yuri slowly closed the sliding door in front of her and stepped back into the house. On second thought, do you think it would be fine if I just, A blush came across Yuri's face as she averted her gaze, nervous at the question that she was about to ask. "Would it be fine if I just stayed here for the night and we finished the buying process tomorrow? I really don't want to go back outside in the dark and risk being attacked by demons." Naruto completely understood what she was talking about, so he allowed her to stay. She gave her thanks before she instructed him to light the wisteria pots outside to keep away the demons. Naruto did as told and came back inside as he sat down on the soft mat that was in the living room. One of his clones then came back with an entire wardrobe of clothes, so he wasn't wearing the same outfit on a daily basis. Another one of his clones then returned with some groceries, and Yuri could do nothing but stare on in disbelief. "How did you?" Naruto just looked at her with his toad-like pupils. "It's hard to explain to someone who doesn't possess chakra. I'll explain another time. That's if the stars align. Anyway, after all, you're a businesswoman, and I want to start my new life. Who knows if we'll have that time." Finally, the last clone came back holding a couch and some bed sheets. The clone placed the couch down, and Naruto got up as he sat on the couch, feeling much more comfortable on the couch than on the mat. All the suspense was causing tension with Yuri, and she couldn't handle it any longer. "So are you just not going to tell me anything about you after you just did all of that?" Naruto looked at her with a clueless expression after he finished telling his lifelong partner inside of him to try and burn off the seal that was placed onto him. "What do you mean?" Yuri got an irritated look on her face. "I mean all of that." She pointed to a clone, and then another clone that poofed away, and then at his toad-like eyes and orange pigmentation. "What the hell is all of that?" Naruto had to remember that she wasn't like him, nor was she used to seeing this type of stuff done by a human. Naruto was thinking of the best way to tell her of his abilities without telling her too much. In short, he just decided to go with a short story. In short, I'm a former shinobi, so everything you just saw is just the norm for me. We kill, we lie, deceive, manipulate, endure, and protect. Naruto said all of this without thinking, and as a result, it struck something deep inside of Yuri. She walked and sat next to Naruto on the couch. So, with you being a former shinobi, then that means you're strong, right? Naruto nodded as Yuri began to scoot closer to him. And what about you being deceitful? You really don't seem like the type. Naruto gave a nervous laugh. She had him pegged. Pause on that. Well, I don't really like to deceive people, but when I have to, then I will. Yuri began to run her fingers up Naruto's arms. And as for you manipulating me, what was that about? Naruto blushed, but he didn't see what he did as manipulation. You can't say I manipulated you. All I did was conduct a business deal with you. As for you having to stay here with me throughout the night, that was completely unintentional. Yuri started to become more bold as she suddenly straddled Naruto's lap. I see. And you said you were a protector, no? Well then, do you think you can protect me, Namikaze-kun? Naruto was now beet red, and he became a stuttering mess. Usually this would completely turn Yuri off and make her lose interest in a man if he couldn't even talk to her without stuttering like a buffoon. But she wasn't going to take up a pass on Naruto. He was nearly perfect in her image. He was strong, he was a protector, so he may be able to protect her from demons. He was handsome, and he was seemingly rich with his own house. But Yuri was curious about Naruto. He came off so strong when he approached her when the two of them were at the club. But now that she was straddling him and grinding against him, he got all nervous and tense. Naruto-kun, is this your first time with a woman? Naruto slowly nodded and Yuri got a predatory grin on her face. Well then, I guess I'll be your first, and you can be my fourth. Just let me guide you through the process. Yuri leaned in as she began to press her body against Naruto as the two of them kissed. Meanwhile, off in the distance, a family was currently being slaughtered. A mother, a daughter, and two sons. They were losing their lives to a demon. The sight was brutal when said demon finally left. They weren't even eaten, just killed. The sight was brutal. The daughter was covered in blood with her mother's body laid on top of hers. The mother's throat was cut open. One of the sons was in the corner of the room with his entire body just mangled and his stomach ripped open. And the other son was by the door with a streak of blood and 3 large gashes on his back, a streak of blood behind him as if he tried to crawl away. The only being left alive in the room looked at his work before he sneered. What a waste of time. Not a single one of them were strong enough to even make the transition. Muzan then walked out of the small house that was up in the snowy woods. He walked slowly, making his way to a cliff before walking off of the scenery around him. As the scenery changed, no longer was he surrounded by trees and snow, but he was now surrounded by many rooms that seemed to just float on separate platforms. Muzan fell down past all the rooms before he eventually came to a stop as he landed and took his seat on his throne and crossed his legs. This is tedious. I have to do this minuscule experiment with only lowly humans simply because I can't and do not wish to risk the lives of my upper and lower moons. but maybe. Back with Naruto. He lay in his bed with Yuri cuddled up next to him. The two of them were in the nude, and Naruto was trying to catch his breath. As Yuri traced fingers along the seals that were placed onto Naruto, Naruto himself didn't know how he was the only one breathing hard as hell. He put in all that work, but he was the only one breathing hard as if he sprinted a marathon. But he was still content with knowing that her legs were shaking just a little bit, but still shaking. What do these tattoos symbolize? Naruto froze for a second before he spoke. They aren't tattoos. They are just a bad memory from my past that I wish to get rid of. What you call tattoos is the same mark that symbolizes betrayal and cowardice. I'm not ready to go into further detail about them at the moment. But guys, I'm going to end it off right here. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe while you're at it. But without further ado, I'm out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.